Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. It is the NCAA Hoops Hour, and I am the big man on campus. It's Monday, March 4th, 2019. Hope you're having a great day. I know I am. Conference tournaments getting going tonight. We will get into those games and all the games here on the card tonight here on the show. Make sure if you are on here, you say hello. If you're on Twitter, and you can, anybody that retweets the show is going to get a prize. So retweet the show, please. Very important to me. It allows the show to gain listeners, gain viewers. Maybe people see it. I had a guy today reach out to me. He says, I just found your content. I really appreciate it. And that's probably because of someone on here that shared the show. So please do that. Very helpful to me. Make sure you're hitting the like button as well. Whatever you feel like hitting, just hit it. Your view counts regardless. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Make sure you check out the conference tournament previews. I'm doing one for each conference. I already have 3 of them up. I have the Atlantic Sun, the Patriot League, and the Big South. I did them with Andy, a couple of them with Andy from the Deep Dive podcast, which we'll have some guests on throughout this. So make sure you're checking that out on the channel as well. A couple of people in here already, almost 100. Thanks for watching. A minute in. James, Isaac, Shane, Bo, I Eat the Bones, Jeff Steele, Mikey D, Brad, John, Russ, G. Coop, Tom S., Tug, King Op. What's up? Marcos, Mojica, Vinny, Mike Millie, Mark Dennis, Matt Varnum, Isaiah, KD, Mike Butler, Jay Smitty, Salty, absolutely, Aaron D, Space Monkey, Dan, Alex, Eric, Jordan. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you for checking us out. As always, many of you are here every day. How's everybody's Monday going? Monday's been good to me. I got some things I had to do done. It kind of sucked, though, because YouTube was down for about 2 or 3 hours, so I wasn't able to record anything, so I'll have to do those later tonight. But I will have more previews coming out. I have the Horizon coming out. I have the Northeast Conference coming out, and I have the Ohio Valley coming out. So make sure you look out for them tonight or tomorrow morning. We will get them going as well. I have a winner for each, so make sure you check them out. Also, please, before we get into the games, which we will go over everyone, make sure you are saluting and joining us at MyBookie. MyBookie, a great sponsor of the show, one of the cool books out there, and they do have conference tournament odds. Make sure you are checking that out, mybookie.ag, a great book to have for the tournament. Very easy to use. You can use on mobile, wherever you go. Use promo code BMOC when you open your account. You get yourself 50% on your first deposit. So if you deposit $100, they'll give you $50 free to wager with. So make sure you're checking out MyBookie. Easy payouts, Bitcoin is accepted, and you get your payments within 48 hours if you do a withdrawal. Let's get into the show here. We will start out. Where can you watch the videos? You can watch them on this channel. All you got to do is after we're done with the show, you can click the videos button and you'll get them. When am I going to the Sugar House? I don't know. Maybe Saturday. Not sure. My email is bmocsports@gmail.com. Let's get into the show. I'm tired of doing of talking. Let's get into the show. Let's get into the picks. We'll start out with Virginia heading up to the Carrier Dome, up to Syracuse to take on the Orange. UVA is at currently at Sports Insights. They are 6. There is a 5.5 at Bet Online. You do have to lay a little juice, though. Virginia, look, you got to be able to shoot versus the zone. We all know that. It's very simple. It's very rudimentary, basic lingo. If you want to break down a zone, the breaking down is done from the three-point line. And look, that feeds right into Virginia's hands. I mean, we all know that up until this year, Virginia's not exactly been an offensive juggernaut. That's changed this year. They are very effective from 3. They have done a great job at getting the best shot. The only thing and the only reason that they don't score more points is due to their possession length. They're very methodical. They look for the best shot, and that might be one of the reasons they're just as efficient as they are. But it's really something where if you're not able to play at that pace and you can't manufacture offense in the half court, A, you're not going to score, and B, you're not going to defend. I don't look at this matchup. I'm not running to the window to bet on Syracuse here. For me, it'd be Virginia or pass. You look at Virginia, number one in the ACC from the three-point line, shooting 41% this season as a team. They can create in the half court as well. It really doesn't matter. They create, they rebound, they do a nice job at limiting second chance opportunities. Great defensive rebounding team, which is so important. You also look at Syracuse, not a very good defensive rebounding team. So there could be some real second chance opportunities for a guy like Jack Salt, a guy like DeAndre Hunter. Those kind of guys can create as well. So you look at Syracuse. I mean, how are they scoring this game? I mean, this team has made it very clear in the half court they're not very effective. You look at on the year, I mean, 32% from three, 50% from two, not particularly good numbers. They're just average at getting to the foul line. And when they do get to the foul line, they don't convert their opportunities. That's a big problem. You can stay in games sometimes in low possession games by making free throws. Syracuse doesn't do that. Syracuse is dead last in the ACC at free throw percentage, shooting just under 67%. That is heinous, and it's not good enough. And it's a reason that I don't think Syracuse is going to have a chance to win or cover this game. If I had to play it, I'd be looking at laying it here. Give me Virginia minus the 6. Next one we'll go to is K-State TCU. I've been against K-State over the weekend, got a push. And look, K-State's legitimate, really good. I mean, really good team. Now that they're healthy, they're going to get Diarra back very soon. When they get him back, I don't think there's any reason they can't make a little run in the tournament. I don't know if they're Elite Eight good, but I think they're really good. Dean Wade, you talk about a guy, Dean Wade. I mean, does he miss inside, 15 feet? I mean, he is butter around the rim and those short jump shots. Very Tim Duncan-esque. Doesn't miss a lot of shots inside the 15-foot line. Very effective. Barry Brown and Stokes are terrific at turning you over, which I have a big concern tonight with TCU with that. TCU has major turnover problems. This team turns it over about 19% of their possessions. Not good. I mean, you want to be like 17 and a half or below. This team's at 19% of the time. Not good. You look at in conference, 8th in the Big 12. They turn the ball over too much. A lot of it has to do with just the fact that they're just not very experienced outside of a guy like Alex Robinson. They don't have a ton of experience. And now you have to come in. You need this game if you're TCU. TCU continues to kind of hang by a thread. I mean, they're hanging. They're in the tournament, but I'm not sure they're, are they a lock? I don't know if they're. I don't think they are. Let's just say if TCU can win this game, I think they're surely in the field. They're hanging there. They're hanging by a thread. I think they're probably one of the last 8 teams in the field. They're on the bubble. And that throws in a lot of reasoning to think that they should be able to get the job done here tonight. But here's my problem with this game. It's not like you're getting 4 points here. They have to win the game. That's basically the truth here. They have to win the game. It's a pass for me. I just don't have much interest in the game. I think it's a bad matchup, but I also look at TCU and say, well, this is a real opportunity here if you're TCU with very few games remaining to get a quality win. If you can beat Kansas State, you're in the field. So, and at home, your last games are on the road in Austin. This is as good a spot as any for Texas Christian. But I've not been a big fan of this group. They're very reliant on getting to the line. If they don't get to the line, they don't score a whole lot. And you're playing a team that in the half court is as good as it gets defensively. So I don't have a ton on this one. I think I could see reasons for both. I think the line is pretty fair. I don't really have much here. Let's get to some comments here, and then we'll keep it going. Again, I don't really factor senior night into my handicapping. I'm just being honest. Again, if it's a very low level school and they're playing for something important, I will. But this is a team at Syracuse that really only has one senior that plays on a regular basis, which is Frank Howard. Sorry, it's just not enough for me. Look, if you have 4 seniors on your team, and it's a game you really need, and so on, then okay. But can we be honest about Syracuse for a second? They're in the field. They don't have a ton to play for. I mean, you're not going to win this game. So again, I know they're going to play hard and they're going to give it to them, but this is not a senior spot that I really care much about. There's just not enough seniors to really warrant it being useful. But good call that it is senior night. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Cheers. What's up, AJ? Adam, hope you're doing well. Shane, Michael DeSola, thanks all of you for joining us today. KD San Virginia 62-51. Yeah, I could see it. I could see even more. I could see 70-53 or something. I don't have much reason to think that this is going to be a typical game. Email me back trying to buy premium. You can email me. I'll look after the show. I'm a little busy right now. Let's keep it going. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. How's Syracuse going to score consistently? That's my big question. I love senior night. Senior night reminds me of people saying having college game. Yeah, that's another good point. Things that I've mentioned. It's a lazy way of handicapping. It's like kind of trying to say that a team has value, but you don't tell anyone how they have value. It's just, they have value. Value is a great word for handicappers that don't know what they're talking about. They say value because it sounds cool. Another good one is market move. That's another great beginner handicapper word. I'm gonna beat the market move. It sounds cool. Yet they don't give you any reason on how they beat it or if they beat it. Or, those are the common, and that's a great point by absolutely. Senior day is a great way of acting like you know what you're talking about, but it really has no legitimate bearing. It took a couple years ago when Derek Jeter got his number retired. I heard people on Twitter talking about, this is such a great and emotional spot to bet the Yankees. No, it's not. They don't give a shit. They're not getting their number retired. Now, look. The day after September 11th, the game you played, now that was a real good emotional spot, but some of this stuff is not, it doesn't have any bearing, like a senior day. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate you watching. What else do we have here? Is Diarra still out? Yes, as far as I know. Feel like you don't get a massive home boost in Syracuse because the dome is so big. It's a good point. That's a real good point, actually. It's almost too big, isn't it? I'm not a big fan of the Carrier Dome. It's huge, clearly, but that's a good point. I mean, it's hard to see in certain spots. You got to wonder if you're not sitting low, what the value going there's. I'm not a big fan of it as a fan. I much rather would sit in the lower end. Which, by the way, I'm looking forward to Saturday down at the Leah Core Center, Temple UCF. Let's keep it moving. Brandon Burrell, out of all the cappers on Twitter, how many actually cap? Very few. Very few. And the whole they got to learn crap. No, they don't. Listen, being a handicapper is kind of like being a mob guy. Okay, you're kind of just born into it. You do it from when you're a wee child till all the way till you are now. You don't have any other job. You don't have any other life. This is your life. And the only way out is in a palm box 6 feet under. That's the only way out. And that's what handicapping is. You take an oath that you're going to live. You're going to be all about it. This is who you are. You're married to the game. That's what they say. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. I took that needle, I pricked my finger, I rubbed the saint, and I said, I, Jeff Nadeau, believe in this. This is me. This is not a flavor of the month thing to do. This is real business, and this is real life. It's gambling. It's work. It's putting into it. That's what I think. It's omerta, a cosa nostra. That's what we do here. Just kidding. But no, it's similar. It's very similar to, I think the true guys are the guys that are doing this forever. You got to have the passion. You got to have it. Jesus Cabrera. Shout out to the Fresh Cuts Barbershop. Bronx, New York. Get those fucking X's up. Shout out to the Bronx, baby. Shout out to Arthur Avenue. Shout out to Pelham. Shout out to all my sheepes in the Bronx. Shout out to Jesus Cabrera. Get those fucking X's up. Shout out. Mott Haven, Mars Park, Pelham Bay, City Island, Fordham Road. What the fuck is up? Jerome Ave, stand the fuck up. Shout out to the BX. Let's keep it moving here. We get into the Texas Tech game. I really have – this is a good game here. Really interesting game. I bet against Texas on Saturday, and I lost. Texas University had 15 threes in the game, 15 for 25 from three. We can vilify that pick. We can be sad about that pick. But the truth of the matter is you're not going to beat many teams that are 15 for 25 from three. Just not going to happen. You know, that's one of the reasons UMBC beat Virginia. Didn't matter. I mean, look, Iowa State's a good defense, but they were very poor on Saturday. I think that was pretty obvious. Now you play a team that can really defend. And I think this is the game for Texas where I think without Kerwin Roach, I think they have a lot of trouble. Because Jace Fabris Jace Fabris has made 15 threes over the last two games. I mean, he's been terrific. And, you know, without Roach, he's been a guy that has really stepped up. But now you're facing a team that can actually defend the three, and that's actually not going to give you any space on the perimeter. So you're going to have to find other ways to score. And this is, I think, where a team like Texas has trouble. This is a game on the road. This is a game for Texas Tech where you talk about a team, to me, where a senior night's going to matter. To me, it'd be this one. This is the kind of senior night that I'd be interested in using a bit towards my handicapping. I don't think it's going to cover or not cover, but I do think tonight you're going to have a really terrific crowd down at Texas Tech. I think we have to face the music here that after this year, it wouldn't surprise me if Chris Beard moves on. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to UNC. I think Roy Williams is getting closer to retiring every day. It wouldn't surprise me if Chris Beard went there. I think Chris Beard's the top 5 coach in the country, and I mean that. You look at how many seniors this guy has this year. I mean, Culver's gone. He's going to the NBA. Matt Mooney's a senior. Tarek Owens is a senior. Brandon Francis is a senior. Odiase is a senior. There's a lot of big-time players and players that matter on this team that aren't going to be here next year. And this is the last home game for this team. This is a big game for Texas Tech. And guess what? You know who you're facing? That fucking shithead Longhorn team. And you're facing a team that right now is without their best player. And it didn't show over the weekend, but I think it shows tonight. I think Texas Tech, you look at this group, 7 wins in a row. They're playing as good as anybody. And yes, I'm going to toot my own horn because I've been telling you guys for fucking months this team is legitimate and they're going to make a run in the tournament. 7 in a row, 6 have come by double digits. And now tonight, you're going to give me 8 points. I'm going to lay 8 points. In fact, I can lay 7.5 at bookmaker. Sign me up. Texas Tech, large. I think they roll in this game. Beat them by double digits. This game is a very good angle. This is how you justify senior night. Not saying every time you see one senior on the map or they're at home. I've seen some people say senior night. Team doesn't have one senior on the team. You're talking about senior night. This is how you justify senior night, what I just did. You create an atmosphere. And the atmosphere doesn't need to be created. It's already there. Mark my words, Chris Beard will go to a huge program. And by huge, I mean one of the biggest in the country. He's that good. Hubert Davis, next Carolina coach, not going to happen. I would think Beard would be number one. I think that would have to be where I would look if I was UNC. But yeah, I'm going to go Texas Tech. I think the first half's probably good play, but I kind of pause on the first half. I don't love Texas Tech in the first half this year. I'm more or less a fan of them full game. I think they win by double digits here. Let's keep it going here. Weber State, interesting game here. Weber back healthy again. Jarek Harding back. They got to head up to Pocatello to take on Idaho State, laying 4. Didn't have much in this game. Weber should roll. I mean, they're a much better team than this Bengal team. Weber State is obviously fell off a little bit. This team got beat up over the weekend against the Northern Colorado Bears. Tough trip. Got beat up in that game, and all of a sudden they're fighting for third place. They need this one tonight. They need to find a way to beat a team like Idaho State. There's only a couple games left, and they're fighting with Montana State for that 3rd seed. You want that 3rd seed so you can avoid playing the 4-5 matchup. You want to avoid that. If you're Weber, you need this game tonight. You have 3 left, and you have 3 real winnable games. And let's be totally honest, it's not impossible that they get up. If the Northern Colorado bottle their final 3 games, problem is Northern Colorado only has 2 games. The fact that Northern Colorado won, basically first and second have been decided here. But this is a big spot for Weber. They need to go on the road and put together a good performance here. Idaho State is the worst team in this conference, and the Wildcats shouldn't have any trouble, especially now that Jarek Harding's back for Weber. Montana, they get Northern Arizona tonight. Not running to the win it about Montana. Montana's not going to lose this conference. They'll win tonight, and I believe that will wrap up the Big Sky for them in the regular season. They're 11-2 at home. They shouldn't have any trouble here. Do I want to lay 15 points? Just not really into the game. What else do we have? Southern Utah, Montana State. Southern Utah, a team that was pretty solid last year. This year, I guess they've been kind of scrappy, but it's not been anything special. Another spot where if you're a team like Montana State, you really just need to get the job done. Montana State, not exactly a very good defensive team, so you do leave yourself open for a backdoor opportunity here. They played Southern Utah way earlier this year and beat them by 30. So they had no problem the first time they played, and that was in Southern Utah. So being at home here shouldn't have any trouble getting the job done here. You just hope that they can defend at a high enough level to get a cover here. That's not their strong suit. Southern Utah is a pretty decent offensive team, especially in the half court. They go pretty quick. So this is a game that it should be pretty high scoring. I'd probably look over the number here if I had to play it. You get a 157.5. First time they played, it was 92-62. You just really need Southern Utah to put up some points. If you can get them to 65, this game should go over the number. You're going to see a lot of points put up probably by Montana State here. Morgan State. Let's get down to the MEAC. Morgan State, Maryland Eastern Shore. I didn't have much in this game. Maryland Eastern Shore is one of the 2 worst teams in the country. This team is shocking, really bad. But I don't have a ton of interest in really ever laying points with Morgan State. This Bears team is not very good. They're not good defensively. They're not good offensively. They've only won 1 game since January 28th. It's been kind of a tough run for them. But one thing they have been able to do is they have taken care of business against Eastern Shore and Delaware State. Again, you're getting the worst team in the country arguably here in Delaware State. So or Maryland Eastern Shore. So if I had to do it, I would lay it with Morgan State, but it will not be on my card or be bet by me. What else do we have here? UCLA needs to call Beard. He's not going to UCLA. Keep the thumbs up coming. Thank you. Thank you, Stack Guap. Thanks for watching. Jazz is a good play today, says Stack Guap. All right. Well, I'll look at that a little bit later. As Jim Bay, I'm going to coach Syracuse next year. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything to the contrary. But again, we'll have to see after that sad event 2 weeks ago. Who knows? Who knows what his future is? Norfolk State is up next. They are heading on the road to take on Delaware State. We will get to a few plays of the day coming up here. Just feel free to stick around. Norfolk State laying 12 down at Delaware State tonight. Look, this is a pretty big mismatch. Let's just be honest with ourselves. This is the best team in the league against the worst team in the league. You just need to hope that Norfolk State checks all the boxes. They don't turn the ball over a weird amount. They don't give up a lot of threes. They don't make you don't miss 4 or 5 free throws towards the end of the game. Kind of like that game they played against Morgan State that they weren't able to cover. They need to just play a complete game. First half looks pretty good here. Norfolk State should be up pretty heavily at halftime. Should cruise to a 15-point win here. That's really where I would look. Delaware State, it's almost sad how bad they are. I mean they just really have little or nothing. I mean, you talk about as far as 2-point offenses, they are dead last in the country in effective field goal. That means there's not one team that's worse than them offensively. I mean, where are they going to score? I mean, do they score 50 points in this game? And I think the only reason they have even a shot at that is because, Norfolk State goes decently quick. Add in the fact that Norfolk State is the best offensive team in this conference. They're a terrific three-point shooting team. You can create a lead very quickly. When let's say go on a little run, I mean, you're going to go 5-6 minutes, I'm sure, for Delaware State where they don't score. I would lay it here with the Spartans. They are cruising right now in this conference. Again, I'm going to get to every game. Stop asking about Lipscomb. I'll get to every game, guys. Relax. Please don't ask about any games, guys. I don't know. I don't know how many times I say that. Let's get to the next game. Texas Southern, Alabama A&M. Texas Southern's won 9 in a row, really trying to keep pace with Prairie View down in the SWAC. Trayvon Reed's back for Texas Southern, the big 7'2", a big man. That's a big getting him back. You pair him along with Combs and Patterson. You have a real nice triple-headed monster there down at Texas Southern. Alabama A&M, really a team that should have a lot of trouble in this game. But I'm not crazy in the SWAC about laying double digits. Pass for me. Grambling, Mississippi Valley. I like the under 140 here. You can get a 140 at Bet Online right now. Both these teams play pretty solid defense for what it's worth. Mississippi Valley is a bad team, but they do actually put a decent effort defensively in. And this is a Grambling team that, while they are decently fast pace-wise, they're not a great offense. And I think they do probably win this game going away, but I'm not sure that Mississippi Valley can, A, score enough, and B, there's a lot of random things in this game that I think can slow tempo. Neither of these teams foul a whole lot. They don't turn the ball over a whole hell of a lot. They both play pretty solid defense, frankly. You look at in the SWAC this year, this Mississippi Valley team, 4th in the league in 2-point defense. They've actually done a pretty good job. They also don't foul. So I think the pace will be there probably, but I don't know if we see a lot of effective scoring opportunities here for either of these teams. If you guys remember, I believe a couple weeks ago, I had an under with Grambling, and it went over by like a half a point. It was kind of a rough beat, but I'm going to go back it again here. I think this one stays low. I like the way Grambling defends. Pine Bluff and Jackson State, another game I'd lean under in. Pine Bluff is a team that with Martravius McKnight, they always have the best player, but I'm not crazy about laying 6 against a Jackson State team that is pretty good defensively. That's one thing that you look at Jackson State. I mean, they're kind of like a really low level version of Virginia. Like that's what they are. And I'm talking about the Virginia team when they couldn't score. Remember when they scored like 60 points a game? That's what Jackson State is. Jackson State is awful on offense, but they're really good on defense. Like efficiency-wise, they're really good. They're good in efficiency. They do a nice job at slowing teams down. They make them kind of play at the pace that they want to play at. And, they're number 1 in block percentage. They're a big team. But they don't do much from an offensive perspective. This one's going to be a pass for me. Just know that Jackson State can dirty up the waters. They want this game to be 61-58. That's what they want to play this game with. Prairie View, Alabama State. I like Prairie View here. Prairie View has 1 loss in the new year. 1 loss. Alabama State is about as dependent as it gets on threes as you have. They're number 1 in 3-point participations or 3-point point distribution. This Prairie View team really good defensively against that 3. I think they're really going to limit these guys from Alabama State that want to bomb away from 3. A guy like Kobe Ross or Reginald G. Those guys want to shoot the ball from 3. G's 42% from 3. You got to limit these guys. That's their only real shot at offense here. You're facing a defense in Prairie View that's number 1 in the league against the 3, only allowing 27.8% of the threes to go in. That's impressive work. They have been dominant from that part of the floor. Let's get into the Atlantic Sun here, the tournament. You can check out my preview on who I think will win on my channel after the show. Couple comments here before we do that. Shout out to Hans Point. Hans Point in the Bronx, welcome in. Can I chat about Lipscomb? I don't know how many times that's going to be asked tonight. We'll get to it coming up. Mississippi Valley playing well lately, coming around a little. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a hard to watch kind of game, put it that way. Almost up to 400 people watching the show. Welcome in. Thanks for watching. We have a carnival here in Brazil, but I stopped the party to listen to what Big Man has to say about basketball. Money is important as well. How about that? Salute to you, Pedro. You're on the money with that. Hope you're having a great day. And what a place to be, Brazil. You imagine waking up every day and looking out your window and you say, I live in Brazil. Now, I know Brazil is dangerous in certain areas, but what a cool place to probably be. A lot of beautiful women down there. That's pretty cool. Good for you. All right, let's get into it. No Stetson. Obviously, that's something we can point out. Stetson's not in this tournament. Their season is over. We get to the first game, though. New Jersey Institute of Technology, the Highlanders heading on the road to take on Florida Gulf Coast. Look, first things first, that's a brutal trip. NJIT really shouldn't be in this conference. To me, I would have put them in the Northeast Conference, kind of make moves and put Mount St. Mary's in the Atlantic Sun and put NJIT in the Northeast Conference. This is a tough trip. It really is. And it really gives them little chance. I mean, you got to go from Newark all the way down to Fort Myers. That means you got to take it's just tough, put it that way. And you're facing a pretty raucous crowd here. If you know anything about Florida Gulf Coast, this is a great gym down at Alico. I mean, they have a lot of good basketball history, particularly recently. They love their hoops down there. And I think this is a pretty tough matchup for NJIT. If you listen to my preview, I talked about FGCU. I love the way this group's playing right now. They come into the tournament winning 3 in a row. They beat Lipscomb already. They beat up Jacksonville the other night, a game they needed to have to kind of get this seeding. And you look at the first time these two teams played, NJIT, they beat them up in the stadium. As far as a full game, I lean FGCU, but I think the play in this game is in the first half. FGCU has been really good in the first half, particularly recently. I love the way that this team's defending. That's a thing I think can't be lost by FGCU. Michael Fly has done a fantastic job with this team on that end. This team, for large parts of the season last year and even early this year, struggled to defend. But this year, it's been a different story. And what they've been able to do is they've really created a team with a lot of transfers. I mean, you look at a guy like Shadrach Kashmir, comes over from Iona. Hanif Cheatham, he comes over. Hasn't played a ton this year. He's been injured. He came over from Marquette. You have a guy in Denero Mercius that's been there. Christian Carlisle, he's been there. Zach Scott, another guy. He came over from, I believe, from Miami, I want to say. He's been a real nice addition to them. So they've kind of made it through transfers, but he's gotten them to play defense. And you add in the fact that this is a real tough trip. NJIT, you got to wonder where their head's at here. I mean, this is a tough thing to do, especially in the winter, to send a team down to Florida Gulf Coast. This is tough. This is real tough. Mine's elsewhere. It's kind of like a bowl game almost, except you don't get all the cool things and the revelry around it. They're not going to have any fans there. No one's making this trip. And while, look, Abdul Lewis is a good player, none of these guys are particularly strong players. Abdul Lewis is solid, I guess, but what you also love about FGCU is they don't foul defensively. This team's one of the best teams in the country at not putting you on the line. And this is an NJIT team that's pretty reliant on that. They need to get to the line to create offense. They're not overly scary on that end of the ball. They don't do well from 3 or from 2. I've been on Florida Gulf Coast. I like the way they've defended. I think they get at them early tonight. I'd look first half if you can find it. And look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. In fact, I actually like this game to be a play of the day to my customers. The only reason I didn't send it out is because I have a lot of customers, and unfortunately, not everybody can get these lines in the first half. Not every book offers them. But I think if you're out there, I think you should bet this game. Definitely. I think it's a good first half spot, and I think you will have some success here laying it. When I sent the email out earlier, you could get a better number. You could have got 1.5 on this one. I believe the line currently is definitely moved up. I think it's at a solid 2 right now, which it is. We could see what I hate to lay a money line. That's just I just can't really do that. 170. That's just too high. Again, that's kind of one of the reasons where numbers are important. I think 2's still probably safe. But I think both ways are good here. Whether you like it first half or you like it full game, I think FGCU wins, and I think they move on. I think this is a brutal spot for NJIT. Let's keep it moving here. We got 3 more games, and then we will wrap up the show. I'm in Philly. Just bet NJIT money line. Well, sorry to hear that. I'm on the other side. Big man, don't let people badmouth you. Mainly newcomers of old friends. Listen, I don't know who did that, but listen, most people want to be like me. I want to be like me too. Again, they can't hold my jock straps. I don't really care much. But I'm not sure, Chris, what you mean by that. I don't think anybody said anything wrong. Let's keep it moving. North Alabama heading on the road to take on North Florida. I'll tell you what, I think North Florida is the play here. And I think they're starting to really learn how to play without Noah Horschler. In fact, I don't know that without Noah Horschler, I don't think that really changes my thought on this game. I think long-term in this tournament, it's going to be hard without Noah Horschler to win, because to beat Lipscomb and Liberty and Florida Gulf Coast, I think you're going to need a guy like that. But against a team like North Alabama, I don't see it. I mean, keep in mind, without Horschler, they beat Liberty. They beat Stetson by double digits. I'm not really sure anything's different here. I'm not really sure the angle to take North Alabama. I think you're just hoping, really. They're not a good offensive team. They're an even worse defensive team. They turn the ball over a lot, and they're very inexperienced. That's just not really what I'm looking for if I'm taking a team like North Alabama. This team's also has no experience in any sort of conference tournaments. This is their first year in the Division I ranks. And look, I got to give them some respect. The fact that Poyol's team's even here is pretty impressive. I would have thought they'd be the worst team in this conference going away. But what I love about North Florida is I think what this has done for North Florida is now that Horschler's out, I think this really just gives Wahid Aminu just more ammo. For anyone that's not aware, Wahid Aminu is the younger brother of Al Farouk Aminu. He is a terrific player. And I mean, he's good enough to go to the NBA. He's got great bloodlines. This guy is a maniac on the boards. He's a terrific basketball player. He's been there 4 years. He's given them some great minutes. I love Aminu. I think he is better than Horschler. I want him around the rim. He just cleans up. He's a lot like his brother. Great bloodlines. I think Garrett Sams is as good as anybody in this conference. I like this North Florida team a lot. I think that starting five is really solid. And I think if you can get a guy like Day or Coffee to come off the bench, give you a couple threes once in a while, I like North Florida here. I think they win 78-66, something like that. I think they win, and I think they cover here. I'll look to grab the Ospreys at home. They are really solid. And again, I don't know how many games are going to win in this conference just because, again, depth will come as the tournament gets tougher. But, I definitely like North Florida in this first game. I think Aminu would just be able to show it a little bit more. Are you a Nike or a Puma guy? I like both. I don't discriminate. I have sweatsuits really from everywhere: Fila, Puma, Nike, Jordan, Polo. I'm about to get a Givenchy one. I'm about to get a Milano Rouge one. I'm all over. I love sweatsuits everywhere. It doesn't matter to me. I have Lacoste sweatsuits. I have every sweatsuit. I'm a big sweatsuit guy. Two more games. I don't wear Adidas. That's one I don't wear. Jacksonville, the Dolphins headed on the road to take on Liberty. I want to say I feel like this is a few too many points. I don't look at Jacksonville as being 14 points worse than Liberty. Now, look, if this was Stetson, Kennesaw, or a team like that, North Alabama even, maybe 14 would be warranted. This is about my least confident play out of the four in Atlantic Sun tonight. This Jacksonville team, while they've lost all their games recently, they have been somewhat decent, frankly. They don't really get blown out. Okay, you look at two games this year, they got blown out in this conference. And one of them was against Liberty. But you look at the other game, lost by 10. You're going to get their best game. And I think Note's good enough to keep them in the game. I've actually watched Jacksonville a lot. They're pretty scrappy, actually. They're actually pretty balanced offensively. They're not one of these teams just going to shut down in the half court and not be able to create anything. Can they get enough stops defensively? They have to rebound highly tonight. They got to rebound the basketball. If they can rebound, just not get – as long as this isn't 38-26 rebound-wise and they don't have 18 turnovers, I think they can cover. Gun to my head, I'd take the Dolphins. Let's see what I can get. I can get 14. Not in love with this play, but it's not a premium. It's not even a free play. It's a guess. I think it's too many points. I'd have put this number at 11.5, not 14. And in fact, it's come down a little bit, so people agree. Lipscomb, Kennesaw State. Lipscomb opened around 28, I think, and 28 didn't last long. It's down to 24.5. People know I love Lipscomb. I love them. I think they can win a few games in the tournament, not just one. I think they're that good. They're at home here. They run an offense that is perfect for laying big numbers because their offense runs constantly. They don't the way they run an offense, it doesn't really stop. And that's one of the reasons they put up 80-plus on a consistent basis. To me, they should hit 85 here. Question I have, can Kennesaw score 60? And when we talk about Kennesaw and a few things surrounding them right now, first of all, they're on the road. Second of all, this is the last game of the season. They're not going to beat Lipscomb. And this game will probably be decided by halftime. But you look at how dire this situation could get, and I have some concerns. When you're getting a number like 24.5, 25, the way you can really hang is late in the game, 10 minutes are left, you're hitting threes. You're getting to the line. You're finding those ways to at least just stay afloat, or nevertheless even stay within 10. I mean, but it's actually quite amazing how bad Kennesaw is offensively. They're like as bad as it gets. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams I've ever seen in this business. They're dead last in the country in point distribution from the three-point line. Only 20% of their points come from the three-point line. That is dire. That's extremely poor. And to put into perspective of how low that is, there's no one even within 3% of them. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. So I have a real concern about them staying in this game. The only thing that I can guess on how Lipscomb doesn't cover here is they're up 25 with 2 to go. This is Al Skinner's final game at Kennesaw. If you know Al Skinner was a great coach at Boston College for many years. He's been at Kennesaw since I think around 2016, I think he came there. Been there 4 years. He's been in coaching since 2001. He was at Boston College for 9 years, I believe. Then he took a little sabbatical and came back to coaching. It's really been a renaissance project for Al Skinner. And he's a guy that I think long-term, he's one of the great guys in the business. He coached some real good guys over the years. You wonder, will classy guy like Casey Alexander, this is going to all be about guessing. If this game is 30, you really, I think, going to have to sweat a cover because, to me, Lipscomb will pull everybody. You have to do that in this conference because you're going to have a lot of real tough games coming up. You have to have these guys fresh. And if you can get that, like if this game's like, let's say 80 to 58 with 6 minutes to go, I hate to tell you, but everybody's coming out. You just have to hope they're up 40 and it never matters. It's what makes gambling so great. You don't see these situations often. To me, even the first half is tough because, frankly, it's kind of been interesting. Kennesaw's actually covered both first halves against Lipscomb this year. You have to hope they just want to take care of business quickly here. That's what you're hoping. But that's why I'm staying off it. So we'll see. I don't have. If you said to me, pick the game or I'll blow your head off. If I could have got 28 with Kennesaw, I would have probably taken it. But I don't think. Maybe the first half, and you just kind of hope that they get it done early, Lipscomb. But even that, I mean, you're going to have to lay a big number in the first half here. You're going to probably have to lay 13.5, 14 here, which isn't an issue. I mean, Lipscomb covers first halves as good as anybody. So, yeah, I think it's a fascinating card tonight. I think, if you asked me what my favorite plays were, I would say my favorite plays on this card are Texas Tech, laying 7.5. I think Virginia has some real value. I think Prairie View will beat Alabama State pretty easily. And then again in the smaller conferences, I think taking FGCU maybe a first half play. taking Jacksonville, taking North Florida. I think all those. Really, every game I preface throughout the show. The best play on the board, if I had to play it, which I didn't give out. I'm not really a big Monday player. I just kind of like to watch. I would probably say Texas Tech. Texas Tech looks like a real good spot. And by the way, Lipscomb first half is, where are we at here? 15. That's a big number. That's tough. You're really hoping this is 37-17, 44-20. That's where I would probably lean if I had to do it, because I think Lipscomb will just try to dispatch them early and say, let's have this game over, 12 minutes to go in a game. That's where I would go here. All right. KD. LeBron sucks. Listen, KD, you seem like a nice guy. I see you in the show. I wouldn't block you over a comment like that. But get lost with that stupid crap. Stop. Stop trying to be that guy. Stop trying to be that big-time contrarian. I hate LeBron. Get out of here. LeBron sucks. He's one of the best players in the history of the game. And arguably, you could say he's the best player ever. Stop with that. Stop with letting your personal disdain for him personally get in the way. Look, do I love everything LeBron does? No. But he's a terrific basketball player and is a dominating individual. Stop with that. Stop with that stupid comments. Listen, I think Lipscomb wins. Lipscomb should win by 40. I'm just trying to tell you where I think there could be a hiccup here. I'm not really playing the game, to be honest. That's kind of not really my game. KD very much deflecting the LeBron comment pretty quick. Look, obviously it was just a bad comment by him. In fact, it was almost an embarrassing comment. That's an embarrassing point. Seriously. Don't ever utter that again. That's a bad comment. I'm trying to save you trying to help you here. What's the best cheesesteak in Philly? The question asked to me constantly. Phillips. Phillips is the best. Talk of the Town's very good as well. Who should follow in the footsteps of Coach K at Duke? Good question. I don't know. I think it'll be a while till Coach K goes, probably 5+ years. I would say probably Capel at Pittsburgh. I think he served under him for a while at Duke. He went on his own up to Pittsburgh. I think 5 years from now, he will figure it out up there, and I think he might be in a position to do that. What's up, Brian Rowe? What's up, Bernie? Am I going to any tournaments? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I actually have to go up to New York next week for something that I can't get into, but maybe after that. But I'm pretty busy right now with the videos and stuff, and I'll be in Atlantic City for 4 days during the tournament, so I'm not sure if I'll be up there or get up there. I wish there were some in Philly, but unfortunately, there's just not a lot around here. We don't really get any good conference tournaments. Hopefully someday Boardwalk Hall can host one, and I'll get down there. But no, I mean, right now I'm just trying to run what I have going on, and there's not enough hours in the day anymore. I might try to get up to like a final, like maybe a Big East or something on a Friday night. We'll see. I will be though at Temple on Saturday. So if you're if you guys live in the Temple area, live in Philly, South Jersey, guys like Brian Rowe, you should try to get to the game on Saturday. It's going to be a great game. It's Fran Duffy's last home game. It's a huge game. If Temple wins, they're probably going to get in the tournament. They need it badly, and you get to see Taco Fall. I've seen Taco Fall live. He's pretty amazing. It's definitely worth the price of admission. John Shire's not going to be the next coach at Duke. Not going to happen. It may be Hurley. It's a pretty good one. Maybe. I wonder if he's a little too much for them, though. I'm not offering you a ticket, Row. You'd have to buy your own. But, yeah, I mean, I'll be there. Donnie will be there with me. So, no, I don't have any extra tickets. You have to buy them yourself. What else do we have here? But again, Brian, why don't you just assume that I have an extra ticket? Brian Rowe, you're a bit of a mooch, kind of. I mean, you don't ever just say I'll be there. Hey, do you have an extra ticket? Come on, man. I gave you a ticket before. We went to the first game of the season, remember? Does LSU have a chance to win it all? I don't think. I think everyone has a chance. Best strip club in Philly. I don't go to strip clubs. I talked about that yesterday. I've never been to one and never will. Temple could use the support. We'll get the support. There are going to be a lot of people there this weekend. Settle down, JB. Todd Bozeman. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to leave Morgan State to go coach Duke. I don't have any extra tickets. I have one ticket. Donnie and I bought them together. I actually didn't have tickets for this game. I sold a lot of them early, so I actually had to get new tickets. I'm actually going to be right behind the basket, so if you're watching TV, you might see me. I have to be in prime court storming area. I'm trying to get Barstow to come. I contacted Roan and Caleb. Roan is actually from Philly, so I'd be very happy if they were able to get there. I think it'd be a good court storm opportunity. I'm happy you still talk to Donnie. Yeah, I talked to him earlier for about an hour. So, yeah, of course. Donnie came to my family Christmas party. He's a family friend. Do I have a subscription to ESPN Plus? I do. It's $5 a month. Who wouldn't? Who's your biggest shocker in the tourney? I'm in tourney didn't start yet, so I have no shockers. What section am I in? I don't know. You have to DM me. I don't know. I forget where I'm at. Who wins, Temple or UCF? We'll have to see what the line is. Settle down, Jason B. Brian's a good guy. I'm just fucking with him. What about Woj at Duke? That's a good one, too. I would think they would go with one of those three, Hurley, Woj, or Capel. Capel, it really will depend when Krzyzewski goes. If Krzyzewski goes in 6 years, then I think Capel will be perfect. Who wins, Weber or Idaho? I would think that Weber will win. Make my line. I would say Temple +3, probably. Probably something around there. Temple +3. No, Temple won't be a favorite. +2.5, +3, probably around there. He's not good. I mean, he's the best player ever. You're talking about 3 months of him being somewhere? Come on, dude. Stop, man. Just stop with these comments, KD. They're really bad. They're really bad. I tuned in late. Did you talk? Yeah, we've talked about every game. We're completely done. Did I go to college? No, I didn't. Daniel Thiel. I have no idea. I have not looked at tomorrow's card yet. Thanks all for joining. Appreciate you. You can all have I hope you all have a great night. The snow has subsided here. We saw some sun today, so that was good. Hoping it's the last snowstorm of the season, which would be very nice. You tuned in an hour late. Exactly. Where have you been? Who was that? ICANN. Where have you been? We started the show an hour ago. But it's all good. I'll be on Periscope a little bit later. Also, make sure you check out all the conference tournament previews. I do a lot of hard work on those, and I want to make sure that everyone can see them. So make sure you check them out on my channel as you leave the show tonight. I'll have more out tonight, and I'll be on Periscope later. I'm not sure what time, maybe 11 o'clock or something. We'll see. We'll see how the night goes. You'll have a nice night. Thanks for checking me out. I'm the Big Men on Campus. As always, like and comment. And if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. All of you have a great night and have fun. Bye-bye.